6:08, everybody. Look at this. Tensions flaring last night with New Yorkers voicing their disapproval over the city's plans to raise rents. Now, the Rent Guidelines Board, one step closer to deciding rent increases for the city's roughly 1 million rent-stabilized units.
Members held a preliminary vote last night. Fix 11's Karen Dillon is joining us live from the East Village with exactly what happened. Karen, good morning.
Hi, good morning, Dan and Hazel. Well, last night the vote was close, but in the end, the Rent Guidelines Board did vote to consider increasing the cost for rent-stabilized units here in the city. And there were hundreds of tenants here at that meeting, that public meeting last night. They spoke out. They were angry. They were frustrated. They were furious. Many of them saying they simply cannot afford an increase.
Last night's Rent Guidelines Board public meeting was contentious and fiery, to say the least. At one point, the crowd stormed the stage and blocked off the board members preliminarily voting on whether to raise the cost for rent-stabilized units in the city.
It's enraging. These landlords do nothing but steal from us. They continue to gentrify and displace our neighborhoods and our people, and it's infuriating to think that I work for the city and they don't do anything for us.
Despite the outcry, the RGB voted 5-4 to consider raising rates by 2 to 5% for one-year leases and 4 to 7% for two-year leases. Many of the tenants at last night's meeting were furious. They want these proposed increases to not just be canceled, but also rolled back.
This whole thing of raising the rent like this actually pushes older people who are on a fixed income into those programs like SCREE.
Last year, the board approved the largest hike for rent-stabilized units in a decade. This year, the increase is being considered because landlords say they need money to pay for inflation and increased costs for repairs and other things as well. In a statement, the mayor reacted to the vote last night, saying members of the RGB are tasked with making independent decisions based on all available data. However, I hope they will look at options below the top of these preliminary ranges to strike the right balance to keep New Yorkers in their homes while providing building owners with the resources they need to provide safe, high-quality homes.
So this was just a preliminary vote. I want to emphasize that, but it does give us an idea of where the board is heading. A final vote will take place in June.